back to another episode of Sip and Cook with me. It's your boy Chef Dunn of Divine Visions Catering. Thank you for tuning in on another Thursday with us. So today we're going to kind of take you back in time. So, you know, we're going to go back in time in sections. I'm going to go back in time first, and we're going to talk about a cocktail that is America's first cocktail, and it is a Sazerac. Now, some of you may have heard of it, some of you may not, but it is, in as far as an American created cocktail, it is considered to be the very first cocktail. It was originally created in 1838, and it was created in New Orleans, so it's a New Orleans themed drink. So it's got a punch and a little kick to it if it comes out of New Orleans. But yeah, it was created by a guy named
Antoine Peychaud.
Antoine Peychaud.
He was a Creole apothecary.
Yes, whatever that means, he was an apothecary. I don't know what that means, but that's what he was.
He dealt with spirits.
Fancy word, bartender.
Right.
But yeah, he was the one who originated this drink. It initially it started off with how we're going to do it with cognac. It eventually switched over to rye whiskey, and it also started off with absinthe. Absinthe was then outlawed, so he created a bitters to kind of mimic that flavor that absinthe gives. It's a great drink. It packs a punch, has some nice aromatics, and we're going to show you how it goes. So we're going to start off with our absinthe. And you don't want to add a lot. This absinthe, and if you notice the cups have been chilled, you want to make sure you chill down your cups. So we're going to start with a quarter cup of absinthe, and we're just going to swirl that around. All we're wanting is the flavors. Move that to the next glass.
Hey Marlon, hey Sateria, thank you guys for joining.
Hello.
Let us know how the volume of the music and everything is, how it sounds.
We're just going to take it in each one, give it a nice swirl. Lastly, I'm going to keep, now normally they used to get rid of the absinthe. I don't believe in wasting alcohol, so this is going to be my drink, and I'm going to keep the absinthe in there.
Yeah, it doesn't cause hallucinations like it used to.
Right. Next, we're going to add our cognac. And if I can find my jigger, which is right here, we're going to do alcohol abuse.
Good evening, cousin Sabrina, Octavia, hola, Celeste Williams, hey y'all.
And we're just going to go ahead and double up on that. If you notice, I got that New Orleans swing jazz going in the background. Next, we're going to add some simple syrup.
Welcome, Mallory, Natural Legacy.
We're just adding about half an ounce in each one. Just take some of that bite off of there. Couple shakes of bitters. Now, he actually created his own bitter. It is called Ricard bitter. It's very hard to find, so I wasn't able to do it, but they also use Aristotle bitters, so I'm going to use that today. We're just going to add a couple drops. Now, his bitters is what gives it that dark red color, so it's not going to have the same dark red color that a normal Sazerac would, but all of the flavors are pretty much going to be identical. All right, from there, we are just going to add a couple of ice cubes.
Hey, Nicole Webb.
Got my nice big square ice cubes.
Sexy ice cubes.
Sexy ice cubes.
That drink smells good.
Smells delicious. Next, we're just going to give it a nice little stir. Make sure all of those ingredients are well mixed together.
You look like an apothecary.
Beautiful. And then we're just going to garnish with a lemon peel. Just want to turn that, squeeze that right down the rim, drop right in. This is just going to add more of those aromatics, and aromatic just means smell. It's a fancy word for all the stuff you smell when you put the glass to your nose or to your lips. Beautiful. All of those oils is what you're smelling in the rind of the lemon. Beautiful. And there you have it, a traditional sassafras. This is one of the original cocktails. It dates back to 1838. So at this time, we have a couple of guests in-house. We'd like to go ahead and pass these drinks along to you.
Come on over, guys. Joanna, thank you for watching. Hey, Maurice.
And once now, I'd like to introduce Miss Wanda Miller, helps make the show possible for me.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Miss Linda. I see you just joined.
And we're going to toast, and then can you talk a little bit about our sponsors for today?
Yes. Actually, I want to put it up on the screen, too. Our sponsor today is Kavora McLean of McLean & Sons. He does basic handyman, product assembly. They're great friends. So he's also made me a couple entertainment trays. He's just great with his hands and wood and a hammer and nails. I'm going to put his number up on the screen as soon as I get back around. But give him a call.
Give him a call. You have any handyman work you like? He creates trays, all kinds of different things. So, yeah, definitely reach out to him. Real great guy to work with. Yeah, check him out.
Yeah, and you can give him a call, 404-908-3570. And that is McLean & Sons.
All right. So, now that we got our cocktail, let's continue our journey down memory lane. So, the meal that I'm creating today is one of my favorite childhood meals. And until I got grown, I didn't realize that the way I was eating it was, when you grow up in urban settings, you eat what you can. So what we're going to be creating today is Salisbury steak. Now, the Salisbury steak I grew up on came in that little box that would be in the freezer section, the Stouffer's brand, and you got to throw it in the oven and let it cook for an hour, and then you grab a little box of instant mashed potatoes, whip that up, and boom, you got dinner for the night, man. I loved it. But as I got older and I was able to actually get a version that was handmade, really made, I realized the difference was like night and day. So what we're going to be doing today is showing you how to make Salisbury steak the proper way. So just to give you a little background on Salisbury steak, Salisbury steak was created by a guy named Dr. James Salisbury. He was a doctor who, for all intents and purposes, preached about a meat-based diet. This is before Atkins and all of that stuff. He was actually prescribing meat as a medicine of sorts. They called it meat pulp. That was the first time that it was introduced, ground up meats. And this actual dish, he would prescribe for certain ailments. It dates back also to the 19th century. So it's been around a really, really long time. So,
yeah, they say he invented this to combat illness among Civil War troops.
Right. So this was something that was actually prescribed as medicine. I don't know how well it worked, but I know that would be a prescription I would be down with.
Yeah, yeah.
They need to make the vaccine in meat form, and I think everybody will be on
it. Put some gravy on it. Cannot with you. So, welcome, Vito, Ulysses, Erica Hart. Thank y'all for watching.
Thank you for watching. So, I am going to go into our ingredients list. So, what we have here is some chopped onions, peppers, and celery. We have some seasoned breadcrumb, 2 eggs. We have some all-purpose flour, some garlic powder, salt and pepper, and cracked red pepper. We also have some beef stock, and we have some French onion soup. This is just a Campbell's in the can French onion soup. Tons of flavor, easy peasy. We also have some portobello sliced mushrooms and some olive oil for our pan. We also have some more onions, peppers, celery, and green onions. And then we have the star of this particular meat, which is our bison meat.
Bison?
Now, traditionally, this particular meal is made with ground beef. But they normally take ground beef and then they add maybe some beef stock or beef bouillon to boost up that beef flavor. Bison meat naturally has a lot of beef flavor. It's a really good flavor. It has less fat, so you have to drain off less. I just really like using bison for this particular meat. Now, you don't have to. You can find bison at any grocery store, farmer's market, anything like that. But it is more expensive than ground beef. So if on a budget or just the thought of eating bison kind of turns you off, simply go for the ground beef. It's not going. But if you do use ground beef, I would say in the mixture, add a little bit of beef stock or dry beef bouillon or something like that, just to boost up that beef flavor. So as you see, just went ahead and put our bison meat in our bowl. To this, we are going to go ahead and add our green peppers and celery. By the way, we know, as you know, our show normally has a guest in house. Our guest that we had scheduled for today had a scheduling situation at the last moment, so they weren't able to come. But you got me.
And me.
and Miss Wanda and our guests outside.
Who are also our sponsors. Thank you very much.
Also our sponsors. So, as you can see, I just went ahead and added that in there. I'm going to go ahead and crack our eggs and add that in as well.
Hey, Patricia. Hey, Diamond. She said, hey.
Hey. We're going to add our cracked red pepper. We're going to add our garlic powder. And we're going to add our salt and pepper. We are also going to add our breadcrumb, and this is about a cup and a half of bread. So basically, we're making almost like miniature meatloaves. If you watch the show where I did meatloaf, you'll notice that it's a very similar recipe and concept. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You really want to get in there. Make sure all of it is nice and mixed. So, I had about a cup and a half of breadcrumb. I think I need about a half a cup more. You want the meat to be very dense. So I'm going to add about a half a cup more. So let's just say 2 cups total.
What do breadcrumbs really do?
So the breadcrumbs lock in the moisture. They lock in a lot of the seasonings and flavors, as well as hold the meat into a patty-like form that's a little bit more dense. If you've ever had a hamburger, you see how it kind of crumbles apart sometimes, or it's not as tight as what a meatloaf is. That is what the breadcrumb does. The breadcrumb adds a little bit of body to it, adds a little bit of texture and locks in those flavors. So go ahead and mix this in nice and beautiful, beautiful. This is very similar to meatloaf, and if you watch the video of when I did the meatballs, very similar. All right, let's move these out of the way, and let us move our handy dandy burner into view. All right, so we're gonna take our olive oil, just put that about 2 tablespoons. You don't want a lot. The meat is gonna produce its own oil. And then we just want, once it's all nice and mixed, all of those ingredients are in there, we are just going to take our patties. Now, I like to make them kind of oval shape. To me, just makes it different, you know? And you want them about 1/4 of an inch thick so that they don't take forever to cook. And we're just gonna drop these right there into our pan, a medium-high heat pan. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Welcome, Angelina. I see you, little baby.
Hello, hello. Remember not to overcrowd your pan because it will cause the temperature to drop and it will cause them not to sear the way you want them to sear.
This is such a comfort, mama cooked it kind of meal.
Oh man, I love these, man. I tell you, this brings back so many memories. Not the actual preparation like this, but just this meal in general. Like, oh man, there's been so many times I've had this meal as a dinner thing. This was like first of the month. Parents just got their food stamps. Go to the store and you can pick out. Your mom say, okay, you can get one of whatever you want. It was hamburger helper, and it was this.
I didn't even know it's called Salisbury steak until I was probably in my 20s. It was just hamburger patties and gravy.
Yep.
That's all it was.
And that's pretty much what it is. But as you can see, it's the hamburger patties are cooked a little differently than what a traditional hamburger patty is.
And this is Bison.
And this is Bison. There's that and that as well. Very cool. So you basically just want these to cook about medium to medium well because you want them to finish in the sauce. So I would say roughly 2 minutes on each side. This drink is really good, by the way.
It really is.
The absinthe, you can smell it. Mine actually has absinthe in it. So if I start wigging out, you know, the rumors are true.
Fun fact about absinthe, nickname is called green berry because of its green color.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Black Death because of its
Death.
licorice flavor.
Because it does have a very black licorice flavor to it. But it's a subtle black licorice, and it mixes quite well. That's why the traditional absinthe to drink is absinthe, simple syrup, or sugar cube, and then water to kind of dilute that a little bit. It goes perfect in this. You can smell it. You can smell the bitters. You can
Hey, Brandon, Springfield.
Cognac smell.
Doesn't it just make sense that America's first cocktail was invented in New Orleans?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because every time I've been to New Orleans, I have not spent a minute sober.
Hey, Rod, how you doing?
Hey, Rod, thank you for tuning in. Out there making big moves out there.
She said y'all need live vocals.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As you can see, The meat patties stay together quite well.
Wow, that looks good.
Beautiful. So, as you can see, we have our guests in-house today that are also our sponsors. If you're in the Atlanta area and would like to come and be on the show, hey, just get in contact with me and Ms. Wanda Miller. It's $25 to sponsor a show. That means you can come in, you can sit, you can drink, you can eat with us. Or if you just wanted to be a guest, we just ask for, come through, $25, and you can be a guest as well. If you are a sponsor, we'll shout out whatever you would like. If you're a guest and you want something shouted out, do that as well. We are here for the people.
Yes, we are all here to fan each other's wings.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Rock, she won't let it go. She says, "Is that a yes? Do you need vocals? Do you need her to come?"
Anytime you want to come, Rob, I am
Come,
ready
please.
for you. Matter of fact, I'm going to. So, just to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing, once a month, we're going to have a guest chef on the show. I'm going to be the guest, and they are going to prepare one of their signature dishes. I think that's going to be something really dope that people are really going to enjoy. I know I'm looking forward to it, so we're trying to bring some new and exciting things to you. All right. So, once again.
So yes, Rock, that's a yes. We need you
yes.
in vocals, in spirit, and physically.
So, for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take these out now. And I'm going to go ahead and finish them in the oven. You can finish them in the pan if you would like. But I want to get moving on to the sauce.
She said that sounds fun. Welcome, Bernard Lockett. Thank you for joining.
So, with your pan, as you can see, now if you're using ground beef, you're going to have a lot of leftover fat. We don't have a lot of leftover fat because we're using Bison, which is a leaner meat. So, what I'm going to do now is add the rest of our pepper, celery, and onions.
I love that sound.
Love that sound. That is the sound of something magical happening.
Yeah.
Just want to kind of move that around, get them nice and soft. To this, we are going to add our mushrooms. Now, mushrooms are 80 to 90% water, so there is going to be some moisture that's going to come out. That's a good thing, because the more the moisture comes out, the more you're deglazing your pan, the more you're sweating your other ingredients, and the softer the mushrooms will become. I'm going to also add the rest of our cracked red pepper.
Miss King said, I love mushrooms.
Mushrooms are delicious. I don't know, so there's so many people that don't like them. I'm just like, you don't know what you're missing. These are, unless you're allergic to them, there's just so much flavor in mushrooms, and they flavor everything.
Rock said she knows that meat was seasoned to heavenly proportions.
Heavenly perfection. Rock knows me well. All right. So now we're starting to get everything sauteed up. Now, you want to cook it till the mushrooms are starting to soften. Roughly about 2 minutes. Nothing crazy. Because you're going to be adding your liquid to this, which is going to also help with the cooking process. To this, we are going to add our all-purpose flour. What we are essentially doing right now is making a roux. A roux is just...
Also from New Orleans.
Also from New Orleans. French, very French. Well, it's originally from France. But as we know, the New Orleans culture is heavily influenced by the French. So a roux is just any kind of fat mixed with any kind of thickening agent, such as flour. We just kind of want to mix all of that in. We're going to let the flour cook a little bit and let it get nice and flavorful. The longer you cook here's a fun fact for you. When making a roux, the longer you cook it, the less it actually thickens, but the more flavor it has. So that's why, like in certain sauces, they have different color roux. They have a white roux and it goes all the way to a dark brown roux. Dark brown roux is what they normally use in gumbo. So within a gumbo, it thickens less but flavors more. But in a sauce like this, we want it to thicken more and flavor less because we're getting the flavor from the other aspects of the meat. So now that we got our roux going, we're going to add our beef stock. And we are going to add our French onion soup. Perfect. Now we just want to kind of mix that in. You want the roux. You really want to mix that roux in so that you don't have lumps in your sauce. Now, it's not going to thicken instantly, but as the liquid heats up, that roux is going to start to thicken. So we're just going to go ahead and mix that up all nice and delicious like and let that roux do its thing. Nice. Oh man, it smells so good.
It does.
Add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. Beautiful. By the time this comes up to a boil, it's going to start to thicken up. From there, you want to cook it just a little bit because you want the starch, the flour to kind of rise to the top so you can skim that off a little bit so you're not tasting that flour. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Miss King said, now that looks good.
Yes, man.
Welcome, Gladys Scott.
Welcome. Everybody tuning in right now, thank you and welcome. Nice. So,
It's already thickening.
It's already thickening, and you don't want it super thick. You just want it thick enough to where it's going to coat your meat. Beautiful. So while that's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get our meat out of the oven, and then we're going to add it back to this sauce, and we're going to let it continue to cook in the sauce for me.
It smells like my mama's house in here.
All right. We're going to take our meat, stick it right back into the sauce. Beautiful. And we're just going to let this cook for about another 3 minutes, and it will be ready to go. As I stated, I sometimes speed up the process a little bit for the sake of time on the show, but you definitely want the sauce to be able to cook. You want to cook all of that flour out. You may want to even skim it. You'll see a slight little skim on the on the top of your sauce. Just take a spoon, skim that off. That's going to be all of that extra protein from the flour that's risen to the top, or excuse me, all the extra starch and things. And you just want to cook your meat in the sauce enough to kind of flavor the sauce. The proteins are going to come out of the sauce, out of your meat, which is going to thicken your sauce even more. So just about once you add it back to the sauce, give it about, I would say 5 minutes in the sauce to cook, and it's going to be perfect. So before we go into plating, just give you a little bit of insight of what Divine Visions Catering has going on. So we got a couple more months before Thanksgiving. So pretty soon we're going to be starting our Thanksgiving meal give back program. So we're going to be asking for donations so that we can feed hungry families, or not even hungry families, just families that are kind of down on their luck, that just want to have a moment of normality with their children around a Thanksgiving meal. We're also doing that for Christmas as well. Food is one of those things that build memories. So regardless of what people are going through, we want to be able to have a situation where we can give back and just have, even if it's just that one time out the year or twice out that year, to be able to sit down with their family, forget about their problems, and just have a really good meal. So we're going to be starting that. We're going to be asking for donations probably around the end of September, early October, so that we can try to feed as many families as possible. Other than that, we are still doing our meal preps. If you are looking to do meal prep, you can contact me or Ms. Wanda Miller, or go to the website and you can order your meal preps. We also still have the Saints and Sinners, which is a monthly meal prep program. We are going to be switching over to that, but as of right now, you can order from one or the other menu. We still are doing our comfort meals. If you're in the Atlanta area and just want something really good to eat, please contact us. And if you're having an event, please contact us. We do full service catering, everything from dinner parties of 2 up to parties of 200.
Wow, comfort meals. Those have been going strong for over a year now. We created it because of the quarantine.
Because of the COVID.
Bernard Lockett wants to know where or how can I get the recipe for the meal that you just cooked?
It will be posted on Instagram and Facebook.
Also, he could probably start this video over as soon as we're done. Watch it. I put the ingredients right up on the screen, so feel free to just back it up.
And if you have any questions about the amounts, just inbox me. I will be coming out probably within the next year or so a digital cookbook that will have a lot of these recipes on it. We got a lot of big things cooking as far as Divine Visions Catering. This next year is going to be interesting. So definitely stay tuned. We got a lot going on, and I look forward to unveiling it to y'all as it unfolds. So now that we have our meat cooking are just about done with our beautiful mushrooms and all of the goodness that is just oozing out of this.
Wait a minute. Chef Rock said UPS ships dinner plates, right? I'm asking for a friend.
We working on it. We working on it, Rock. I'm gonna have it for you.
Welcome, Chrissy. Welcome, Brianna. Thank y'all for watching. I just appreciate y'all tuning in.
So, one of as I told you, my favorite meal was the Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes. So I wanted to do something that was close to my roots, but also with a little bit of chef speed. So instead of doing just normal mashed potatoes, I've done potato cakes. And I will be doing a live that will show the recipe for these. This is one of my favorite ways to eat potatoes. It's like mashed potatoes, baked potato, and French fries all in one. How can you go wrong? All right.
Oh, that looks so good.
So then we're just going to take one of our Salisbury steaks. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So, hit it with a little razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
A little razzle dazzle. And there we go, folks. This is our Salisbury steak on top of a potato cake. So now, Miss Wanda Miller, if you would like to join me on a sample test.
I would love to. I've been waiting all day to do this. This looks so awesome.
Here we go.
Thank you.
So let's dig in.
Ah, look how awesome this is fixing to be.
Gotta get a little piece of that with a little
Everything.
piece of that.
Everything. And mushroom.
Wow.
Oh, so good. And hot. Oh my God.
The
This is
contrast
amazing.
in flavors is so good.
I've never had a
man.
potato cake like this.
Very, very filling. Like, you can't go wrong. It is
Oh my God, that's so good.
one of those meals you can make for your family, 30 minutes, and it's gonna wow. So, at the end of the show, we always do a giveaway. Even though our guest was not able to make it, I'm still gonna do a giveaway. So, the question is, what was the name of the person that created Salisbury steak?
Tell us.
We need the answer, and then whoever gives the answer first, you technically win. In order to claim your prize, you go onto your page and say, I won the Sip and Cook trivia question, and then tag Divine Visions Catering and Miss Wanda Miller. If you do that, what you will win is a custom Divine Visions Catering t-shirt directly mailed to you.
Yes.
You can even go onto our website, Divine Apparel and More, and pick out the design you want. We'll get it made for you and get it sent out to you. So once again, the question is, what was the name of the person who created the Salisbury steak? Other than that, thank you for tuning in another Thursday. We really appreciate it. Please let people know where they can find us every Thursday. And thank you for sipping and cooking with me. Have a great night. Bye.